Hello, welcome to Alyssa Jean's Reviews, and welcome to my review for Star Wars Ahoska Season 1, Episode 6, or Part 6 as the kids are calling it these days. Far, far away. Spoilers are going to be had if you have not seen up through the end of Season 1, Episode 6 of Ahsoka. Well, this review will probably be a little shorter, I think, than the previous two. I don't feel like I have as much to say. I knew that we couldn't forever keep up the pace that we were going, cranking out two incredible episodes back to back, some of the best episodes in Star Wars television. We can't just always do that. Sometimes you just need to have an episode that simply serves a function in the plot and is not going to be anything more impactful or deeper or meaningful or beautiful or, as in the case of episode 4, really exciting and really fantastic. Sometimes you just gotta have an episode and an episode that moves the plot forward, connects the dots from A to B to C. We knew that we had to get Grand Admiral Thrawn. We knew we had to get to Ezra. And so this episode accomplishes that. So it's it serves its purpose. It serves a function. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not every episode has to be fantastic, amazing, phenomenal. Sometimes episodes can just be episodes that serve their purpose. But I did get some enjoyment out of this as well. It felt very Star Warsian. As I've said in the last couple episodes, felt very much like Star Wars. In particular, this episode felt like Star Wars Rebels, just like the interactions between Sabine and that little animal thing that she was writing felt very Rebels to me. But also just all the different creatures and stuff and aliens felt very Star Wars. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It served its purpose. Not every episode has to be phenomenal. Next level stuff. We get one quick opening scene with Ahsoka and Huyang just to kind of remind us that this is the same show that it was last week. But then we get that ending with him saying, a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Then we cut immediately to the title sequence that says far, far away. So that's it. We do get Ahsoka mentioned at the end. The witches kind of are able to see that she has come. So we're mostly setting up for next episode. We don't really get her. So we're focusing back on Sabine, who we didn't see last week, and her search for Ezra. And yeah, here's where it felt Rebels and just Star Wars in general to me. Is Sabine writing that little thing and bantering with it. That just felt very Rebels-like to me. And also those marauders, or whatever you want to call those things, those were sand people with a different look. They were wearing these red costumes and they had these masks. I mean, they didn't look the same, but they were sand people. I mean, I was expecting them to go. I mean, they practically did. They were pretty much sand people. And then those little turtle things, at first actually reminded me a lot of Jawas. So they were like, they kind of talked like Jawas. But they were also very Ewok-like as well. So, I don't know, all of that felt very Star Wars. And also the fact that Ezra's hanging out with these dudes. Like, Ezra always, bonded with different animals and aliens and different types of beings. More so than humans a lot of the time. So, not surprising that he would hang out with these little, whatever you call those dudes, little turtle shell dudes. There's going to be some toys sold of them, I'm sure. And I was already picturing the Sabine riding that animal thing action figure. Whatever that animal thing is called. I'm sure it has a name. So yeah, all of that felt very Star Warsy, and it was nice to see Ezra. He's much older. He's growing a beard. I did wonder, like, why he was like, "Oh, Sabine, I knew you would come for me." Did he? I thought that he went off expecting never to come back again. So part of me was like, "Oh, is this maybe not really Ezra? And this is a fake Ezra, or Ezra's been brainwashed." So there will be 125 theory videos on YouTube that are going to say just that type of thing in 5, 4, 3, 2. Like, those videos are being made right now, if they're not already published. All those theories about, oh, this isn't the real Ezra. Occam's razor, people. Just like with that stupid theory that Merrick or whatever was Ezra. Dumb theory. Occam's razor, simplest explanation is the explanation. That's all there is to it. This is just Ezra. I did have that thought for a second because it just seemed odd that he would say, "Oh, Sabine, I knew you were coming." But at the same time, I did think that because he, asked her all these questions and she was like, "Oh, no, I'll tell you later." I think it's the real Ezra. But there will be 125 YouTube videos with all these crazy theories. I do not believe in any of them. This is just Ezra. Let's talk about Grand Admiral Thrawn. We finally get him. So cool to see him in live action, played by the dude who voiced him. Definitely a little different, but the same. And I loved Grand Admiral Thrawn as a villain. I think I named him my number 2 villain in all of Star Wars when I did like a top 10 villain list a while back. So it's very cool to see him. He's up to something we don't quite know. He wants Sabine, obviously, to find Ezra, and this somehow will help him to get back. I don't really understand how. And it's not like he needs Ezra to get him back, because he also mentioned, well, it doesn't matter if Sabine and Ezra are dead or they're abandoned here. But he does somehow need Sabine to find Ezra, because he did mention his highest priority is getting back. So I'm not sure how that all... I'm not sure what's going on there. But I suppose we will find out. So yeah, cool to see Thrawn. Again, this is nothing amazing, exciting, but we're connecting the dots. We got Thrawn. We're setting up for what's to come. So all I also want to mention, very cool to see the witches in live action. They were so cool. Did love that as well. Also wanted to touch on Baylan. We definitely see for sure that he has his own agenda that does not align with Thrawn's. And also Thrawn is willing to let him and Shin just die or be abandoned as well. He does not give a shit about them. He made that very clear. And I don't think that Baylan really cares for Thrawn either. He has his own agenda, which we get a little bit of information on. We still don't really know. He talks about wanting to end the cycle. He talks about the cycle where the Jedi fall, the Empire rises over and over and over and over. I am not sure what he means by that. Is he talking about a timey-wimey thing? Or is he talking about like the BSG, this has all happened before and it will all happen again, where there was the BSG, spoilers, BSG came out, 17 years ago it ended, but where there was the old original Earth, and then that got destroyed by robots, Cylons, and then there was those 12 planets, and then they got destroyed, and then there was the new Earth, and was applying that the same thing's going to happen. This has all happened before, and it all happened again. That's what he's talking about. Which would be very foreshadowing of the fact that the Jedi will fall again, with Luke's school being burned down and all that stuff, and then the First Order rising up, being the Empire rising up again. So if that's what he's talking about, it is actually foreshadowing, and obviously he does not succeed in ending the cycle because it's going to continue. But also, I was wondering, it can't be. It's probably not a timey-wimey thing. So that's probably what he means. How does he intend to end the cycle? Don't know. Don't understand that yet. Yet to be revealed. But I am now really foreseeing that him and Ahsoka are going to be aligned. Because he is definitely in opposition to Thrawn. Thrawn is in opposition to him. And ironically, he mentions in this episode, talking about those like sand people type dudes, that, oh, well, the enemies are our friends, referring to those dudes. I think that's going to end up being the same thing with Ahsoka ultimately, that they're not going to be, friends. They're each going to have their own agenda, but their agendas are going to be aligned, and that they're both going to be in opposition of Grand Admiral Thrawn. So that's where I foresee that going, because very clearly he's got his own agenda, Thrawn's got his own agenda, and they do not align. They are in opposition to each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. So this was basically a good setup episode, just moving us forward, setting us up for the final 2 episodes. So that's all I really got to say about that. Let me go ahead and give my rating out of 10. 1 is the lowest possible score, 10 is the highest possible score. I think I've given at least a 9 to every episode, but I'm going to give this one an 8. Good, solid setup episode, moves the plot forward, gets us Ezra, gets us Grand Admiral Thrawn, connects the dots. Nothing spectacular, but serves its function well. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. All right, that's it for this week's review. Please join me next week as I review episode 7. Also, if you're into Star Trek Lower Decks, join me on Thursday for my Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4, Episode 4 review. And please subscribe to check out everything on my channel. And I will see you very, very soon. And goodbye.